1 second, Israel. Let me just share this class. All right, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yal Shah Barakathum. Yahweh Shamar Thum Bashim Yal Shah. Priest Melchor 1000 Yadai. I'm filling in for Captain of 13,000 Shapar Napad. Now, tonight is Thursday, and Thursday is the history class. Now, Israel, tonight we're going to go over some history. That's our history that's right here in the Bible, showing us that even in captivity, the Most High can be with us. We're going to go over Daniel, and we may even touch with Samson. We have to understand, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. That was the time for us to take ourselves out of America. When I say take yourself out of America, I'm not saying get on a boat or get on a plane and fly to Egypt or somewhere. No. It's time to take our mind out of America and put our mind back on the Most High God, Yahweh. Put our mind back on Him. Put our mind back on our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Because we have to understand, as the Lord's chosen people, we are disgracing ourselves here in America, trying to be American, trying to be free, white, and 21, and live like the oppressor. This is why it's important for us to understand, man, our true identity. That Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, that we are the Israelites of antiquity. And the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. We have to understand, I don't care what type of hell, what type of conditions, because we are going through hell here in America and all over the earth as the Lord shows the people. I'm here to tell you right now, I don't give a damn about the condition or hell that we're in. The Most High chose us to be above these other nations. And this is why it's important for us to come back to the Most High. If I could, Barzell, and I get 1 Peter 2 and verse 9. I don't think our people understand just how special we are as the Lord's people. The thing is that we have to take ourselves away from America. We've been really too comfortable here, to be honest. Too comfortable serving their gods, serving their people, being slaves here in America under the oppressor and these other nations. At what expense? At what expense? When we are the greatest people on this earth, man, because the Most High chose us. If only we understood, Black man, First Nation man and woman, just how special one another is, we wouldn't have the problems that we have in our community. It wouldn't be no drugs. It wouldn't be no murder. It wouldn't be sisters going to the abortion clinics and murdering our babies by the thousands. What we have to do is stop partaking in the evil and the sins of the oppressor, because that's the thing they want us to do. The last thing the oppressor wants to see is Black and brown people, Black and so-called Hispanics uniting and coming together, as Zephaniah 2 and verse 1 says. Now, if I could, let me get 1 Peter 2 and verse 9.
Come on, God. It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation.
First Nation man and woman, Black man and woman, we are a chosen generation. Meaning the Most High chose us. If you tune into this class right now, guess what? The Most High is calling you. The Most High chose us, Black man, Hispanic man and woman. He didn't choose everybody. We're that chosen generation. We're the ones that have to come out of Babylon, come out of America, come out of this evil, wicked kingdom, man, because the Most High chose us. Read on.
Oh, God. A royal priesthood.
A royal priesthood. First of all, let me just say this. The royal priesthood is only here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohanan. This is that royal priesthood, man. This is the royal priesthood of the Lord. It's not your fake Israelite group masquerading in purple like the oppressor. Not the Catholic Church, not the Christian Church, not your little Kemetic groups and little African science that you have. The Israelite School of UPK is not affiliated with none of you little black groups. The royal priesthood of the Most High Yahweh is here in the ISUPK, and the UPK has always been this royal priesthood, man, since 1969. we've been upholding and doing and standing fast on these traditions that the prophets before us, like Jeremiah, Daniel, Moses, Malachi, like the disciples, like our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach, have been holding down. Them customs have only been held down here in 1 West out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, man. Read on.
And holy nation.
A holy nation. What does holy mean? I know a lot of us growing up in the Christian church, especially the Christian church next door, you think holy or whatever to be holy is your pastor sitting up in the white robe and your grandmama and your auntie with the feathered hat. That's not what it means to be holy. Holy means to be separate and separate nation, meaning black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. We are a separate nation unto the Most High. We're a separate nation, meaning this. We're not supposed to be living together kumbaya with these other nations. We're not supposed to. You think you can live peacefully with the oppressor when nobody on the earth has been able to live peacefully with them. You want to stand up for everybody else's hurt and struggle but our own. We're supposed to be holy, meaning to be separate. Because guess what? These other nations are separate. The so-called Chinese man and woman are crying, saying, well, stop Asian hate. But they don't. But listen, here's the thing. They don't stop the hate against us, black man, Hispanic man and woman. They come up in our communities and set up shop and separate themselves from us, but they take our money though. Now it's time for us to stop patronizing them. Now it's time for us to put our money back into our own businesses, our own schools, build our nation up under Christ and the Isupk, because we are that holy nation, meaning a separate nation. Read on.
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people. Peculiar meaning special. Who's more peculiar and special than the black man, Hispanic man, and so-called First Nation man and woman? No one. Even in this captivity, we are the most copied people on the earth. We are the peculiar people that the Most High chose. Ain't nothing special about the oppressor and these other nations. They funny looking. That's about it. That's about it. But none of these other nations can touch us, man, because we are the Lord's chosen people, a peculiar people. Read on.
Of God. That ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Show forth the praises of him that called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. What does that mean? The darkness meaning the darkness of this world, the evil of America and this evil, wicked society. Our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach has called us out of this world, man. Christ said, for I am the light of the world, man. Our King gave up his life so we could come back to the Most High and come into this truth. Right now, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, if you in class sitting in or you watching online, the Lord is calling you out of America, calling you out of the darkness, out of this world, and into his marvelous light, meaning the Isupk, the Israelite School of UPK. This is not the time to drop your sword and become weak. This is not the time to do that. This is not the time to put this sword down under no circumstances, man. Under no circumstances. This is why it's important to hold on to this truth and fight temptation. Because something that Captain Ahmad Yashar used to always say to me when I was a young man and a trooper, that always stuck with me. Once you walk through these doors and start tuning into class and being sincere, that's when you leave the grasp of Satan. And when you leave Satan's grasp, now he has to work 100 times harder to get you back in his hands. Now, here's the thing, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Are you going to fold? You are being called out of the darkness of this world and being called into his marvelous light. Stand strong, stand fast, as 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 15 says. Stand strong in this truth and uphold these traditions, whether we've been taught by word or epistle. This is why it's important, man, to come back to our culture and our identity, because we don't even understand who we are. We don't understand just how destroyed we are here in America. Our people are destroyed under the gouge of Christianity and Islam. We are. Christianity and Islam are two of the biggest components that have been detrimental to our people since the beginning. You think you serving the Most High in that Christian church. You think you serving the Most High going to that Muslim mosque. Barzal, you know how many sisters I've seen just this week with the chemo on, and how many silly brothers I've seen like, oh man, brother, I haven't eaten all day. I've only been drinking water. That's why Christ said, man, don't go out there and fast and cry and moan and complain, for a show like the publicans do, because that's what the Muslims do. That's what the Christians do. Holler at me when you can fast a full day. Holler at me when you can fast a full day in private and don't complain at all. And say no sweat. Holler at me when you can do that. Because it just goes to show you that the Lord is not with the Christian church or the Muslim mosques. And the biggest thing to show you that the Lord is not with them, look at how they reacted to the coronavirus and the COVID-19.
Right.
Look at how they reacted. Your pastor had no answer for it. He had no idea it was even in the Bible. The same thing with your imam. And they talk a good game. I know Farrakhan talk a good game, Israel. He'd be like, well, you see, the problem is the oppressor, the white man, is going to give you a vaccination, which is going to make you sick. The oppressor is trying to kill you with the gouge of the coronavirus and kill you with an injection, a lethal injection. Like Farrakhan. Why does the oppressor have to go through all that trouble when he can just put our knee on our neck? And what does the Christian church and the Muslim mosque do when the oppressor put his knees on our neck? What does the Muslim mosque or the Christian church do when they come in our home and murder our sisters while they lay in our bed? Right. What does the Christian church and the Muslim mosque do when a sister named Vanessa Gilligan, a Mexican sister from the tribe of Isupk, joins the oppressor's military and is raped, mutilated, chopped up, and buried? Give me a break. Christianity and Islam has never helped or saved any of our people. And as long as we continue to be in that folly, we are going to continue to be destroyed. The problem is we have lost our way, lost our identity. As a matter of fact, Barzo, give me Jeremiah 50 and verse 6. I'll show you that in the scriptures. I'll show you that in the scriptures. Tonight we're going to go over, a powerful brother in Daniel, and I want to go into idols, idolism, salaki. I want to go into the idols and idol worship. I'm going to go into Christianity and Islam, and then I'm going to go into Daniel. Because when Daniel was in the face of all the paganism and the idolatry, the idolatry of Babylon, he did not fold, and neither did Meshach, and Abednego. And we cannot fold here in America. The problem is, and this is why it's important to understand our history, we turned away from our God. We turned away from our power. And when we turned away from our God and our power, these other nations had no sympathy, no mercy whatsoever for us. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible. You got what I asked for?
Oh, God. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15 and verse 6.
Chapter 50 and verse 6.
Chapter 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep.
My people have been lost sheep. First of all, the Lord's, what's the key words here? The Lord is saying my people. He ain't saying all people. God don't love, let's get that myth out the way right now. God does not love everybody. The Christian church and Muslim mosques has been telling that lie for far too long, especially the oppressor. God don't give a damn about these other nations. The Lord punished us as a whole because we went a whoring after the other nations and their gods and their idols. For the Lord said in Jeremiah 50 and verse 6, my people, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, my people have been what?
Lost sheep.
Lost sheep. We have been lost sheep. Why is the Lord equating us to lost sheep? Because sheep without the shepherd go what? Astray. And our shepherds in the Christian church and Muslim mosques have failed us. Creflo Dollar, T.D. Snake Salakia, T.D. Jakes, Louis Farrakhan, Geno Jennings, they have failed our people. Al Sharpton's, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I can go on and on and on. We are lost sheep following after wicked leaders who have been following after the oppressor. The Lord said, for my people have been lost sheep. Read on.
Come God. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
I just broke that down. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Creflo Dollar said out of his own mouth, well, brothers and sisters, God. You know what I mean? God doesn't want you to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Christ did not die, you know what I mean? Well, for that. Christ died so we can continue to live the life that we live. Christ died, you know what I mean, so we can continue to eat pork. Christ doesn't want us to keep the law. Satan does. Creflo Dollar said that out of his own mouth and then proceeded to beg the congregation of his church for what, $1 billion we can buy a jet. You know he got that jet, Margo. He got that jet. He said that. He said Christ don't want us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. But Christ said out of his own mouth in Matthew 5 and 17, think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. Christ said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. He also said that if any man teach anyone to teach, to break even one of these least commandments, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Christ did not die, you know what I mean, so you can continue to be an evil, wicked sinner, so you can continue to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster and break every commandment. No, Christ died so we could come back to the Most High and show us that we can keep the law. That's why the scriptures say that it behooved him to be made unto like his brethren. So Christ could come down in the flesh and show us that the law can be kept. And guess what? If you're in the ISUPK, you know we keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not eating leavened bread this week during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We eating unleavened bread right now. You're not going to see us with that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Not this week. Not this week. Because unlike your pastor, unlike your imam, we follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And we follow what our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach, you know him as Jesus Christ said. But your pastor, your imam, they caused us to go astray. They said for their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They had. Look at Islam. Look at Farrakhan and every simpleton that follows after the Arabs that slam their face down to a rock. Any brother or sister that follows after Islam and Allah, and let me just be very clear on one thing. Allah is not the God of the Bible. Allah is not Yahweh. Allah is the figment of the imaginations of Ishmael, the Arabs. The Quran is only good for one thing, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. If you ever run out of Scotch toilet paper, that Quran, the pages in that Quran, I'm telling you, it can do the job, Barzo. It do the job. That's what the Quran is for. Toilet paper. All type of nonsense that come out of Farrakhan's mouth and your imam's mouth, man. Right. Farrakhan out here kissing the oppressor on the mouth, meeting with the so-called Jew, calling him, well, I'm not anti-Semitic. I have so-called Jew friends in Israel. When they're not Jews. Right. They're not. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, we are the real Jews of antiquity, man. They have caused us to go astray. Read on.
They have turned them away on the mountains.
We got turned away on the mountain. What is the mountain? Our holy mountain, Zion, Jerusalem, Israel. We're supposed to be in our land. We're not supposed to be here in America. America is not our rest. The problem is, I'm going to reiterate it again. Our people are too comfortable here. We are too comfortable. We've been gone astray from our mountain, which the Most High gave to us. We've gone away from Zion, man. Read on.
They have turned them on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill.
They have gone from mountain to hill. We went from our holy mountain to the hill. You know what a hill is? The hill is America. That's the hill. Now we're in America. Now we was going back to Egypt. Now we're following after these other nations and their gods and their, you know what I mean, and their customs and standards, man. We've been turned away from our land, from our holy city. Now we're following after the philosophy of these other nations. Now you got brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, that are slamming their face on a rock, that are in the Christian church saying, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, while their children are getting molested and their wives are sleeping with the pastor and then the husband is sleeping with the choir. Can I get a hallelujah for that? The Lord is not with that. We've gone from the mountain to the hill. Read on.
Oh, God. They have forgotten their resting place.
We have forgotten our resting place. America is not our rest. It's not our rest. We can't get no rest in here. How the hell are we supposed to get rest here in America when the oppressor has his knee on our neck? How are we supposed to get rest here in America when our sisters can't even walk down the street without being harassed and murdered by the oppressor? Our babies. How can this be our rest? I know our people were excited and happy that devil Derek Chauvin was found guilty. But 2 hours later, a 15-year-old girl was murdered. Another hour after that, a brother was murdered in North Carolina. Another hour after that, an Hispanic brother in Bakersfield, California was murdered, man. And you can forget about the countless of our Hispanic brothers and sisters suffering at the border right now in cages. A countless amount of our First Nation brothers and sisters suffering on the reservation right now at the hand of the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We've forgotten our resting place. America is not our home. It's not our rest. Zion is our home. That mountain is our home and our resting place. And this is not our rest. This is not our rest. We still have a lot of work to do, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Don't get complacent. Don't get soft. Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable here in America. We should be as uncomfortable as possible in this evil, wicked society, man, because of all the evil and abominations that we have to go through just being here, man. This is not our resting place. Read verse 7, Baba Kasha.
Verse 7, and that found them have devoured them.
That found them devoured them. Those other nations that found us devoured us. You want to be a Muslim? Don't you understand that the stinking camel breath Arabs built the slave ships, but you want to say Salaam Alaikum? You want to say Salaam Alaikum? You want to say that my name is Kareem Abdul Rahim Suleiman Ahmed the Magnificent? Silly nigga, Willie, shut up. Shut up. You're an Israelite. You're a Jew. You're not an Arab. You're not a Muslim. You want to be a Christian? You want to serve the same white man that the oppressor served? First of all, here's the thing that killed me, Barzo. This is what kills me. Our people are happy and celebrating. You know what I mean? Now we can breathe. Now we can rest because Derek Chauvin has been found guilty. But Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd, and guess what? He's a Christian too. He celebrates Christmas, so do you. They celebrate 4th of July, so do you, Black man, Hispanic man, and woman. They celebrate their birthdays, so do our people. This is not our rest. These other nations devour us. What's another instance of these other nations devouring us? Look at the so-called Asians. They come in our communities and set up shop and make thousands of dollars a week. But go to Moab, who was the Chinese man and woman, their biblical father, Mawa'aba in Hebrew. Go to the Chinese man and say, well, you know, Li Ching, I only got $4. I know the 4 wings with fries is $5. Can you let me buy? No. You no pay, no eat. Hurry up and buy. But now they want to tell us, stop Asian hate. I thought they could fight more, though. I thought they could fight. You mean to tell me all of that was a lie? And Commander General Yahana broke down, you know what I mean, a magnificent story he brought out on how Moab ain't even that smart. The Chinese man and woman and the Japanese are really slow, Black man, Hispanic man and woman. Right. You look at them like they intelligent, and I'm here to tell you, they're slow. Right. Like slow. They eat cat, rat, dog, Tom and Jerry, and pangolin. We look at them and like they're some type of moral standard on culture and sophistication. You can forget about the brothers and sisters that are enamored, you know what I mean, with Chinese and Japanese culture. Like, I understand, I get it, you know what I mean, but they're slow. They're not as smart as you think. And they devour us because they send their kids to college and different schools and make money off of us, but they don't do nothing for us. You cannot show me a Chinese man or Japanese man and woman that stood up for George Floyd, Vanessa Gilligan, Ramon Lopez, Philando Castillo, or Ahmaud Arbery. Right. But all of our people want to stand up for Asian hate. Kick rocks on that. I'm going to stand up for my Mexican brothers and sisters at the goddamn border. That's who we going to stand up for. We're going to stand up for our Black and Hispanic and First Nation brothers and sisters. My First Nation brothers and sisters that are struggling on the reservation right now, dying of the coronavirus. The oppressor doesn't want to send them the vaccine and different supplies and vials that they need to help them, but they will send them body bags, though. They will send them body bags. These other nations devour us. They found us and they devour us. They destroy us. Read on.
Oh, God. And their adversary said.
Now, here's the kicker. This is what they say. This is what Tim and Adam say when they destroy us, when they put their knee on our neck, when they shoot us when we go into their stores, or we're sitting in a park playing by ourselves, or walking down the street with a bag of Skittles and an Arizona iced tea. This is what they say. Read on.
We offend not.
We what?
We offend not.
Wait a minute. We offend not. I offend not the Most High by putting my knee on George Floyd's neck. I offend not by murdering Trayvon Martin for just walking down the street. I offend not, for murdering Philando Castillo and Breonna Taylor and Vanessa Gilliam. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong by coming over here to the so-called New World and raping and robbing and committing biological warfare against the First Nation. We offend not. Why not? Freedom.
God. Because they have sinned against the Lord.
They have what?
Sinned against the Lord.
The heathens say, because they sinned against the Lord. Ooh-wee. That's what they say. That's what Bob and Tim McGillicuddy and Adam say. We sinned against our. Wait. They're like, wait a minute. They sinning against the Most High. They sinning right now. We can destroy them. Which goes to show you what, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. We got to cut sin out. We got to stop following after these nations and doing what our God said to do. The Most High said to love him with all thy mind, all thy strength, and all thy soul, and love thy brother and their sister as thyself. We do that. The rest of the law, statutes, and commandments will be a breeze. I pray you understand. But this oppressor says, well, we know we offend not. We offend not. We ain't do nothing wrong. Because they sinned against the Most High. Read on.
The habitation of justice.
The habitation of justice. The Most High is the only way we are going to get real justice. Absolute justice is when about a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, we know him as Yahweh Shah Mashiach, comes down with 200 million black angels and lays waste to America and the oppressor and these other nations. That is when we are going to have real justice. That's why the oppressor holds himself not good. As a matter of fact, Bardo, give me Exodus 23 and 22. Give me Exodus 23 and verse 22, Bubba for sure. Also, Israel, y'all have any questions, type them in. I'll be answering your questions tonight. Just type them in online and I'll get to them. But let me get Exodus 23 and 22.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice.
Now, God is saying here, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, if we obey the voice of the Most High, guess what?
And do all that I speak.
And do all that the Most High speak. Do all, not some. You can't pick and choose. You can't do what the Christians and the Muslims do. The modern day Sadducees and Pharisees. You cannot pick and choose what you want to do. Read on.
Then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies.
The Lord will be an enemy unto thy enemies. And guess what? These other nations are our enemies. The oppressor is our enemy. I know it's hard to believe, but the oppressor is not our friend. He's not. Neither are these other nations. The Africans rounded us up, sold us to the oppressor. The Arabs made the ships. These other nations stood by, let this happen. They don't give a damn about us, man. But the Lord said, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies. Meaning the Lord will be an enemy unto all of our enemies. And guess what? You do not want to be an enemy of the Most High. Why do you think the coronavirus is here right now? Kicking the ass of the oppressor and these heathen nations. They don't have an answer for it. They do not. They don't. Donald Trump said out of his own mouth, we're fighting against the invisible enemy. We're fighting against an invisible enemy. Who is the invisible enemy, black man, Hispanic man, and woman? That's our God. The same God that sent down the death angel that passed over us and killed the firstborn of everything that was in the land of Egypt, of those heathens, man. And we celebrate that. We just got done celebrating the Lord's Passover, man. We in the Feast of Unleavened Bread right now. We have to obey the Most High's voice and do what he said to do, and he will be an enemy unto thy enemies. Read on.
God. And an adversary unto thine adversaries.
And an adversary unto thine adversaries. Guess what? You do not want the Most High as an adversary. I pray you understand. You don't. You do not want the Most High Yahweh as an adversary. He said he will be an adversary unto our enemies. All we got to do is obey his voice, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Come out of that Christian church. Come out of that Muslim mosque. It's garbage. As a matter of fact, I'll show you that real quick that they're garbage. Give me Deuteronomy 4 and 27. Deuteronomy 4 and 27. The thing is, a lot of our people generally and naturally want to serve the Most High. We have a zeal to serve the Lord, but not according to knowledge, as Romans 10 and verse 1 says. Now, we have to understand the Christian church and the Muslim mosque, you know what I mean, is idolatry. We're not supposed to be serving, you know what I mean, the gods of these other nations. They're nothing. They're nothing. They're the figment of the imaginations of the heathen. They are. And I'm going to break that down in class tonight. And I'm going to bring out, you know what I mean, a powerful brother, a powerful priest, Daniel, who did not crumble under the oppression that he faced in Babylon. Now, let me get Deuteronomy 4 and verse 27.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
Now, because we disobeyed the Lord, we got scattered among the nations. This is why you can find a black man or a First Nation or a Hispanic man anywhere. We got scattered among the nations because we disobeyed the Lord, following after the heathens. Read on.
And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Now, we've been left few in number among the heathen. I want to bring this out too, because a lot of our people think, you know what I mean? I had a brother tell me, Barzo, well, you know, the Igbos over there in Nigeria and the entire country of Nigeria, they're Israelites. No, they are not. I'm not going to say that we're not scattered in Africa. There's a small remnant of us over there. And you want to know how you know the Israelites that are in Africa are Israelites? They're going through hell right now. They're being persecuted by the real Africans, man. Everybody in Nigeria that are so-called Igbo are not Israelites. We were left few in number amongst the heathen. We were scattered amongst the heathen, man, but a few in number. Read on.
Whether the Lord shall lead you, verse 28, and there ye shall serve God.
Now he's saying, there ye shall serve gods. Now we're going to serve different gods. Read on.
The work of men's hands.
The works of men's hands. You know what I never understood, Israel? I never understood. Our people always say, well, they'll tell me, when you die, you know, we come from Egypt, brother. Rah, rah, rah. Achmet, Ma'at, Geb, and all that other, and all the gods of Egypt and the Romans and the Greeks and these heathen nations are homosexual. They homosexuals, man. And here's the thing. You saying that, oh man, we come from Ma'at, the 42 negative confessions. Nigga, don't you understand that you are probably the same nigga that built that statue? You know, them Africans were real lazy in Israel. You know, the Egyptians, which is Mizraim, Matazarium in the Hebrew. Our first captivity in slavery was in Egypt. I can break that down for you. You want me for Israel? It's Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Well, that's us going into America. Deuteronomy 28, 68 is us going into America, but the Lord said we would go back into Egypt, Egypt meaning bondage. Our first captivity was in Egypt. Now, with those Africans, guess what? They had us build their treasure cities. They had us build, and you know what I mean, and erect, you know, statues and stuff for them. And the sad thing is, you'll build that. You got brothers and sisters that are artists to this day. Officer Barzal Rakal, Officer 1000 is an excellent artist in Israel, man. He is an excellent artist. But is Barzal going to go and build a statue and then bow his face down to it and worship it? Something that he made? That's something I never understood. You're going to build a statue decorated with gold and silver and then bow down to it. Like, come on. And to show you that that's us, we did the same thing when we came out of Egypt. When we went into the wilderness, Moses was gone for a little while. You know, we're dealing with the Most High. Most High giving them, you know what I mean? These are stone tablets, laws, statutes, and commandments. We down here with Aaron, begging him, you know what I mean? Make us a god. Make us a golden calf. And then we worship it. Like, we forget that the Most High just parted the entire Red Sea. We forget that the Most High just brought down a fire tornado and destroyed all of them Africans. That's what I never understood, man. But it also let me know that we are the children of Israel because we're stiff-necked. We are a stiff-necked people. You are going to build something up and then bow down to it. Don't you understand that some slow Moabite made Buddha? Like, if I could, Barzo, I've always looked at Buddha like this. It was some silly Moabite that was starving one day. And then he started eating rice. And then he got fat. And then another Moabite was like, you know what, that'll make a good story. And next thing you know, you got Buddha. Same thing with Allah and the Ishmaelites and the Arabs. First of all, Muhammad was a camel jockey. Just to break that down, he was a camel jockey, and most of his people are camel jockeys today. They drive the yellow cab now. They still got that camel breath. They still got that. But here's the thing. That's the figment of their imagination. It is. Muhammad saw how lawless and wild, and Ishmael was considered a wild man, and how destructive and how kind of drug addicts they were, and decided his people needed an order. And you know what people he learned from? He learned from us, black man and woman, Hispanic man and woman. He learned from Jews and created his own religion. In a book that I'm going to bring out next time I teach, you know what I mean? Satan's Angels Exposed. Guess what? It breaks down about how there were many gods. The Arabs had different gods for each day. They had 365 gods. But then Muhammad broke it down to just one, Allah. But it used to be Allah and his daughters. Come on now, Israel. You look stupid being a Muslim.
Right.
The same thing being in that silly Christian church. We're serving gods, the works of men's hands. You look stupid bowing down to that rock. You do. I never understood that. You are going to get on a plane, go to Saudi Arabia, have them camel breath Arabs spit on you and call you nigger and call you slave so you can bow down to a rock, my nigga. That's what you're going to do. Get out the Muslim mosque, black man, Hispanic man, and woman. Right. Get out that Christian church, man. You're going to serve the same God, the same white man that the oppressor serves and celebrates and reveres. Come on now. While they lynch us, while they murder us and rape us, you look silly.
Right.
We are serving gods, the works of men's hands. Read on.
God. Verse, Deuteronomy 14 and 27.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Deuteronomy 4 and 27.
That's right. Whither the Lord shall lead you. Verse 28. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands.
The works of men's hands. The works of men's hands. Meaning we serving gods that man made.
Right.
I'll give you another thing. I'll give you another way to break that. Here's the thing. The works of men's hands. A lot of our people in the West Indian Islands love Shiva. And Shiva is the god or goddess, it's an hermaphrodite, homosexual of the East Indians. And that's where dreadlocks and the smoking weed come from. That's who you really worship when you wear them shalakin. When you wear those dreadlocks and smoke that weed, you're really worshiping the East Indian god Shiva. And then you put a twist to it and call it Rastafarianism, and then make a Hamite and Haile Selassie your savior. It's nonsense, man. It's BS. I'm gonna get to your question in 1 second. I gotta break this down, brother. Kanayat, I'm gonna break it down for you. Read on, Borzo.
God. Wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
Which, here's the thing. The works of men's hands of wood and stone. What is the wood? The wood is that Christian cross. The stone is that Kaaba stone. They neither see nor hear. They don't. That's talking about Christianity and Islam. Christianity and Islam, man. That's what it's talking about. We got to come out that Christian church and that Muslim mosque. Now, if I could deviate, let me get Jeremiah 16 and verse 16. Bubba Control Bozo. I think brother wanted a general breakdown of Jeremiah 16 and verse 16.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers.
Now, the Lord is saying, behold, I will send for many fishers. Read on.
Oh God. Saith the Lord, and they shall fish them.
And they shall fish them. Now, what does that mean? Well, the Lord shall send many fishers, and they shall fish men. Now, think about this. You ain't always been in the truth. More than likely, one day, like us, you stumbled across a video or you walked past the campsite. You walk past the camp. That's the priests and prophets of the Lord fishing men, bringing men into this truth. The Lord told Ezekiel, paraphrasing Ezekiel 37th chapter, you know what I mean, to prophesy in the valley of dry man's bones, that these bones may live. We are those dry bones that are living now that came into this truth. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. That's us. We fishing men right now. By teaching these classes, by holding camp, by going out to these different zones in different cities. This is why Christ said in Matthew, hold that, let me get Matthew 10 and verse 5. Matthew 10 and verse 5, oh, for sure.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Christ told the 12 disciples, go not into the way of the Gentiles, meaning go not to those heathens, man. Do not go to the Gentiles. Now, in some instances, Gentiles can be Israelites. Those were the Gentiles that Paul was sent to go find, the northern kingdom, man. Now, Christ is saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles. Don't go to these heathens, but go rather to who?
And into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not.
Don't even go to a city if it ain't no Israelites there. That's what Christ is telling the 12 disciples. Read on.
Come on. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Meaning, go fish that black man, that Hispanic man, that First Nation man and woman. That's what we have to go do. Go fish them. Go fish them. That's what we have to do. Now, let's go back to Jeremiah 16 and verse 16. I'm going to get to the second part of it.
Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters.
I will send forth many hunters. What does that mean? Guess what, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman? There's going to come a time. It's going to come a time. Thus saith the Lord, when we are in our kingdom, when a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah comes down with 200 million angels and lays waste to the oppressor. And guess what? There's going to be some heathens that, guess what? That are going to fight, that are going to resist. And guess what we got to do? Read it again.
And after I will send for many hunters.
The Lord is going to send forth many hunters. Read on.
And they shall hunt from every mountain.
And they shall hunt from every mountain. Because guess what? You know, the oppressor has like bunkers, like underground bunkers where he think he gonna hide, where they think they're gonna be able to get away. And the angels is just gonna phase through them walls and lay waste to them. And then there's gonna be heathens that are gonna try to go into hiding because they're not gonna want to willingly become our slaves. They're not gonna want that. They're gonna fight for their kingdom. That's why they have a space force. That's why they have the Air Force. That's why they have the Marines and all that. We're gonna have to hunt them. Because guess what, brothers and sisters? They hunt us. It's gonna come a time where we're gonna have to hunt them. As a matter of fact, hold that. Give me Lamentations 4 and 18. Lamentations 4 and verse 18. Well, for sure. As a matter of fact, don't stay where you at. I'll read it. This is the book of Lamentations 4 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 17. As our eyes have failed, yet for our faith, as yet for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. Our eyes have failed for our vain help in America, thinking that America loves us, thinking that we free white in 21, thinking America is our rest. Putting our trust in Joe Biden and Donald Trump and the heathen, man. Our eyes have failed for our vain help. Vain meaning nothing. And it also says, and watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Meaning these oppressors cannot save us or any other nation out of this captivity. Only the Most High Christ can. Now, verse 18 says they hunt our steps. They hunt our steps. They hunted Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery was just jogging in the wrong neighborhood, and it was two devils in back of him and wanted for him. They hunted our brother down. They hunted Breonna Taylor. They hunted Vanessa Gilliam. They hunt our steps. Our end is near. So like they hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near and our days are fulfilled for our end is come. The oppressor hunts us. Well, guess what? There's going to come a time where we are going to hunt them. That's right. There's going to come a time where we are going to hunt them, brother, because they hunt our steps to this day. Now let's go back to Jeremiah 16 and verse 16.
And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
And guess what? Guess what? We are going to hunt them out of the holes in the mountains. They're going to try to escape it. They're going to try to escape and avoid captivity. They cannot. Revelation 13 and verse 9 says, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. For this is the patience of the saints, brother. There's going to come a time. We fishing men right now. But there's going to come a time, brother, we are going to hunt men. I hope that answered your question, brother. If it did, let me know. Now, understand this, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. In this captivity, we have to stop, you know what I mean, following after the heathen, following after their gods. We following after God and the works of men's hands, man. Now realizing this ain't the first time that we've done this. This ain't the first time that we've been in captivity. We was in captivity in Egypt and we was in captivity in Babylon. And we've done something similar. As a matter of fact, Barzal, before we go to Daniel, give me Psalms 96 and verse 5. Psalms 96 and verse 5. I'll show you. I'll show you. Go ahead, Barzal.
Come. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96. Chapter 96 and verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
All of the gods of these different nations are idols. Buddha, Shiva, Allah, Caesar Borgia. When I say Caesar Borgia, I'm saying white Jesus. They're idols. They're idols, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. They're nothing. Read on.
Come.
Yeah, take your time. Just read it again from the top.
Come. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
For all the gods of the nations are idols. They're idols, man. They're idols. Guess what? They're not real. How many times I got to reiterate this? They're the figment of their imagination. The oppressor, and I'm going to go over this tomorrow. I'm going to go over this, next week too. The whole process. But I'll do a quick summary right now. Caesar Borgia, right, was the son of Rodrigo Borgia. Caesar was a homosexual lover of Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci. Michelangelo. Caesar Borgia was the homosexual lover of Michelangelo. And I'm not talking about that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle neither. When Caesar Borgia died, Rodrigo had his homosexual lover, his son's homosexual lover, Michelangelo, commission and make his son Caesar in the image of Jesus Christ. That's why Job 9 and 24 says the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. They can't tell us that Jesus Christ is a black man like us. They can't tell us that, but they can make him into a homosexual. They can do that, and that's in the Bible. The gods of these other nations are idols. Every time you bow down to that cross or that silly rock or get into, I don't know what they're doing nowadays, Barzal, smoking weed. A sister told me one time that she was in tune with the universe and then pulled out some tarot cards. I said, sis, Lord be with you. Right. The scriptures say in Jeremiah 10 and verse 1, learn not the way of the heathen, man. Learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Don't be looking up at the moon, stars, and the sun trying to worship that, being in astrology, using tarot cards, worshiping, a rock in Islam and Allah and Caesar Borgia and Christianity. For they're idols. The gods of these other nations are idols. And I'm going to prove it. Let me get Baruch, the 6th chapter. Let me get the book of Baruch, chapter 6, and I want you to start at verse 1. Start at verse 2. Baruch 6 and 2.
Come on.
I'm gonna break it down for you right now to show you that these gods are nothing, that they're idols, man. And we shouldn't be serving these gods. The Lord said, you know what I mean, that we should have no other gods before him. He's a jealous God. The hell we look like serving Baal, serving Dagon, serving these different heathen gods, man. We look stupid. We look silly. That's why we're in this captivity. That's why we messed up in the game right now. What? If we just obey the Most High's voice and do what he says, do all he says, by the way, not some, all he says, then he'd be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries. Because the Lord has adversaries. He does. And that's the oppressor. That's the Chinese man and woman. That's the Arabs. Those are the Lord's enemies and adversaries. Our enemies and adversaries are God's enemies and adversaries. And we look foolish serving after their gods. And I'm going to show you that in the book of Baruch, the 6th chapter.
Is it apocryphal?
Yeah, come Baruch. Yeah, Baruch 6 and verse 2. So, yeah, Baruch 6 and verse 2. Yeah, I'm going to show it. I'm going to break it down for you. But we got to understand, man, because a lot of our people really get lost in the game. And it just kills me. Like here in Philadelphia, I don't know if y'all understand. Like there's so many brothers and sisters that is conformed to Islam that it's a shame. And it's the same thing in Babylon when our people was bowing down to the golden statue erected by Nebuchadnezzar. And I'm going to break that down in Daniel today, Lord willing. This ain't the first time that our people have done this. Being lost in the sauce, serving these other gods has been our detriment. It's been our detriment and we gain nothing. Every time you bow your face down to that rock and serve the God of the Arabs, man, guess what? You disappoint the Most High. You shame the Most High. You shame this priesthood. Where was Allah? You know what I mean? When George Floyd was murdered, man. Where was Caesar Borgia? Where was the Christian church and the Muslim mosque? Where was the Buddhist monks? Where is the conscious community? You mean to tell me, Salah, you mean to tell me in the midst of all the selling of the shea butter and different herbs, nobody's speaking up against the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Vanessa Gillian? Just the Israelite school of UPK goes to tell you, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, this is not a job for everybody. This is a job for the true priests and prophets of the Lord, and that's only here in the ISUPK. Now I'm about to break down how foolish we look. You know what I mean? Serving these different gods and idols. Let me give Baruch 6 and verse 2.
Oh God. It's the book of Baruch, chapter 6 and verse 2. Because of the sins which ye have committed before the Most High, ye shall be led away captives into Babylon.
Now, we've been led away captive into Babylon. Go into some history. Jeremiah came, you know what I mean, to, I think it was Hezekiah. Came to King Hezekiah and King Manasseh, telling them, yo, we got to stop sinning, man. We got to turn away from this evil. But our people didn't want to listen there in Judah. I believe the Lord was only dealing with Judah at this point, as the northern kingdom, Israel, already messed up. Now we messed up. And now the Lord sent us into Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. Read on.
By Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians. Mm-hmm. So when ye be come unto Babylon, ye shall remain there many years.
Now, when we came to Babylon, we was there a long time. We was there a long time in Babylon, man. It wasn't no joke. Read on.
Come. And for a long season, namely 7 generations. And after that, I will bring you away peaceably from this.
Now, the Lord said, after 7 generations, I'll bring you out of it. Well, we got to serve our time in this captivity, following after, you know what I mean, the different gods of the different nations. Read on.
Now shall ye see in Babylon gods of silver and of gold.
Oh, now in Babylon, we're going to see gods of silver and of gold. Different gods. Read on. See what the Lord wants us to do.
And of wood borne upon shoulders.
And of wood. Different gods. Different gods of wood and stone and silver and wood. Ain't Buddha made out of wood? Ain't, you know what I mean? You got different gods of silver and stone. You got Baal. You got, you know what I mean? You got Allah. You got, if you think these gods is something, these are the same gods that was back then. Paganism and idolatry ain't really go nowhere. They don't even change over the season. They might give it a new name, but their roots always go back to Egypt and Babylon. They always do. Now, we're going to see different gods of silver and gold and of wood. Read on.
Come. Which caused the nations to fear.
Which caused the nations to fear. Meaning they were scared of this. People were terrified of the gods of Babylon, man. The gods of silver and of wood, man. We're terrified of them. Shoot, wasn't it Elijah? When Elijah came up against, you know what I mean, against the prophets of Baal? Elijah came up against the prophets of Baal, brothers and sisters. And they was out there cutting themselves, crying, Baal, where are you at? And Elijah was out there, was like, well, you know, maybe Baal went on a vacation. Maybe Baal, maybe he's down the road on a journey somewhere. But, you know, until he gets back, watch what my God does. And the fire came down upon the altar to show you that the Most High God, Yahweh, is one God, man. One God. And thou shalt have no other gods before him. We're supposed to be making fun of these heathens for the silly gods that they serve and worship, man. They nothing. Read on.
Come. Beware, therefore, that ye in no wise be like to strangers, neither be ye afraid of them.
Don't be afraid of these different gods. That's the thing. The Lord told us when we go in Babylon, don't be afraid of them gods of that wood and that silver and that gold. Don't be afraid of them. Why is the Lord telling us don't be afraid of them? Read on.
Come. When ye see the multitude before them and behind them, worshiping them, but say ye in your hearts, O Lord, we must worship thee. We must worship the Most High. The Lord is saying that in the multitude, there's going to be people that's going to be worshiping these gods of silver and wood and gold, man. But don't do that. Don't do that. The Lord is saying, but say in your hearts, oh Lord, we must worship thee. We must worship Yahweh, man. We must worship the Most High. Read on. For my angel is with you.
For my angel is with you, man. For my angel is with you. And then the Most High said, for my angel is with you. Don't be afraid of these other gods, man, of silver and of gold. Read verse 8 for me, Bubba Show.
Verse 8. As for their tongue, it is polished by the workman.
It's polished by the workman. Meaning these guys' tongue was polished by the workman. Meaning they can't really speak. They can't. Read on.
And they themselves are guiled and laid over with silver. Yet are they but false.
But they false. They may be laid with silver. They may look nice. They may look cool, but they're false. Read on.
And cannot speak.
They can't even speak. They're powerless. The gods of these other nations are powerless. And that's what the Most High was telling us when we went into Babylon. So the history class, we're going to go over some history tonight. The Lord was telling us when we go into Babylon, man, understand these gods ain't nothing. They may be laid with silver and gold and stone, but they can't speak. They can't hurt you. When you see the multitude serving and worshiping them, don't do it. Remember, my angel is with you. And you know who remembered that? Daniel did. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego remembered that. Now, let's go into my topic. Let's go to Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Go to Daniel 3 and verse 1 for me, Bo, for sure. Daniel 3 and verse 1. Now we're about to read about Daniel and three brothers, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, in the face of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. I need you to understand, like how Joe Biden, is the leader of America, Nebuchadnezzar is the king and leader of Babylon. And Babylon was the greatest superpower on the earth at this time. You had many superpowers on the earth. Like how America is the superpower now, Nebuchadnezzar and Babylon was that superpower back then, like how Egypt was the top superpower with Pharaoh before them. Now, Babylon is that superpower, the most feared nation. You know what I mean? That these other nations wouldn't dare come up against. Now, let's read about it. Read verse 3 and 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Verse 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces.
Now, Nebuchadnezzar is gathering together all of his officials. He's getting ready to build something. He's getting ready to build an idol. Let's read on.
To come to the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar.
Next, the dedication of the image of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar is getting ready to make an idol in his own image. Let's read on.
The king had set up, verse 3. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Now, he set this image up, and he's getting ready to break down what people have to do when they see and befall this image. What verse you at?
Verse 6.
Drop down to verse 5.
Verse 5. That at the time, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, porcelain, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Now, here's the thing. Nebuchadnezzar made a decree that everybody, when they hear the music, they're going to have to drop down and worship this image that Nebuchadnezzar created. Now read verse 6.
Verse 6. And whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
Now, anybody that did not worship and bow down to this God, this idol, you was going to be cast down and thrown into a fiery furnace. Good night. And he was not playing. He wasn't. He wasn't. He said, any man, anybody that does not bow down, right, and serve my God, guess what? You are going to have to go into that fiery furnace. Now, drop down to verse 12.
Verse 12. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of province of Babylon.
Now, there were Jews, black men in Babylon. We were carried away in Babylon. They carried away the best of us. They carried away the lawyers, the doctors, the warriors. They carried us away into Babylon, man. Now, you had 3 Jews, 3 brothers that was over different provinces, meaning they was given different duties in this kingdom, meaning they had authority in this kingdom. They did. They had what you call high standing in captivity. Let's read on. The fairs of province of Babylon.
The fairs of province of Babylon. The fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out.
Oh, Salaki, verse 12. Verse 12. Yeah, verse 12, Salaki.
There is a certain Jew whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, read on. These 3 brothers, read on.
These men, okay, have not regarded thee.
Have not what?
Regarded thee.
They have not regarded thee. Now, Nebuchadnezzar had the music playing. Everybody bowed down. Unfortunately, there was a lot of our people that did bow down. It was like, keep that fiery furnace away from me. But you had 3 brothers. Now, mind you, which goes to show you just how much of a punk your so-called celebrities are, like Nick Cannon. I know you worship Nick Cannon, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and them, Sean Jackson, those that say the Jews are black, but then fold when the oppressor come from them. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego they were over providences over Babylon. They were over providences. And guess what? He was like, what? Bow down and serve that? I'm not doing that. They disregarded Nebuchadnezzar. It went in one ear and out the other. Why? Why? Because paraphrasing, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego weren't punks, man. They weren't punks. They said, I ain't scared of Nebuchadnezzar in that fiery furnace. I serve the one God, Yahweh, Elohim. We don't.
Oh God. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image.
They said, they serve not the gods or worship the golden image. Read on.
Oh God, which thou hast set up.
And look at Nebuchadnezzar's men snitching. They ran to Nebuchadnezzar. Yo, Nebuchadnezzar, them Jews, them niggas over there in Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they not bowing down. They not bowing down. Then you give them providences. Then you give them authority to handle certain affairs. Why they not bowing down? Read on.
God. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury,
he was upset. He was upset. He was mad. He was big mad. Read on.
Oh God. Commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king.
Brought them before the king. Read on.
Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up?
They said, hold on, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, is it true? Is it true, baby? You not serving my golden image? You not serving my idol? Is this true? Read on.
Oh God. Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, horsery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fell down, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast in the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Now
he's saying, Nebuchadnezzar is like, listen, when I play this music, y'all niggas better bow down and serve me in my idol, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fiery furnace. And just to show you how evil Nebuchadnezzar is, how arrogant he is, listen to what he says after this. Read on.
And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand?
He said, who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? See how arrogant this evil king was, man? To three prophets of the Lord, three strong black men that didn't falter, didn't waver. I ain't gonna be no more. Read on.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
Let me translate this to different terms. They said, you sure you want to hear this answer, Nebuchadnezzar? You ready for this answer? I don't think you're going to like it. Read on.
If it be so.
If it be so. Read on.
Our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace.
He said, if it be so. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, if it be so, our God, our power will deliver us from this fiery furnace. Read on.
Oh God. And he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king.
And guess what? He took it, they called him out on that. Said, they was like, what the hell does he think he is? Don't you know that our God is one God, man? What the hell is Nebuchadnezzar in this island? Because Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego know that the idols of these other nations are powerless and they're vain and they're nothing. They're like, man, the hell with that. I'm not going to do that. And what they bring out next is so heavy. And what it needs to resonate in every of our people that's Black, Hispanic, and First Nation. We have to have this type of energy right here. I know we like to say we got to move with a different type of energy. You got to move with the energy of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, especially in this captivity in America. Read on.
But if not, be it known unto thee, okay, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
He said, but if it not be known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy God, and he said, we will not serve thy God, nor worship. Read on.
We will not serve thy God, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Understand this. When he said, but if not, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was so hardcore. They said, even if the Most High doesn't deliver us from your burning fiery furnace, we still not bowing down to your golden image and your idol, man. We have to have that type of energy. They said, even if he does, even if the Most High don't deliver us from you in this burning furnace, we still not going to burn. We still not going to bow down to your golden image, man. Because Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego understood that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. They did not fear Nebuchadnezzar. They did not fear Babylon. And guess what? They understood, man, that we should fear the Most High. The Most High said, fear the one that can kill the body and the soul in hell. That's the Most High. The same God that parted the Red Sea, that made Egypt a desolate dust bowl. That's the God that Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego served. And that's the God that we serve in the Israelite school at UPK. We don't fold. We don't. We're not serving the gods of America and Babylon and Egypt and all these other nations, man. We serve the Most High Yahweh. He said, even if he don't, but if not, let it be known unto thee, O king, we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Read verse 19,
Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury.
Now he's full of fury. He's upset, Israel. He's big mad. If you put a cape on him, he's super mad. That's how mad Nebuchadnezzar was. He's full of fury. Read on.
And the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
His posture changed now. Now his anger is visible. He can't contain it. Read on.
Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was what to be heated.
Now he heated the furnace 7 times what it was normally heated. He wanted them to burn to a crisp instantly. That's how hot he made this furnace. But little does Nebuchadnezzar know. Read on.
And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Now he said, bind them men. Throw them in that furnace. Read on.
And to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Verse 21. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
They was cast into the fiery furnace. They had their garments on and everything, their glorious garments, and they was cast into that fiery furnace that was 7 times hotter than it was before, because they did not bow down to Nebuchadnezzar and them idols, man. They didn't bow down and compromise this truth, man. Read on.
Therefore, because the king's commandment was commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot.
Now, because the king's commandment was urgent, and that the fire was exceedingly hot, read on.
The flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Guess what? The fire was so hot that it consumed the men instantly that threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the burning furnace. Read on.
And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
Now, they bowed down in the midst of the fiery furnace. They in there now. They in the fiery furnace. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Read on.
Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished.
Now, astonished was Nebuchadnezzar. He said, hold up. Wait a minute, this ain't right. Read on.
And rose up in the haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire?
He said, hold up, nigga, didn't we cast 3 men in that fire? We threw 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that fire. Read on.
Come. They answered and said nothing to the king.
He said nothing. They like, man, I don't know. I think you did, man. I don't know, man. You did throw 3 niggas in there. Read on.
True, O king. He answered and said, Lord, I see 4 men.
Now he said, I see 4 men. I see 4 men. Read on.
Loose, walking in the midst of the fire.
Now the men were loose, and it was 4 men walking in the midst of the fire. He saw 4 men in there walking around, unburnt, untouched. Read on.
And they have no hurt.
No hurt, meaning no burn marks, no nothing. Read on.
And the form of the 4th is like the son of the power.
And the 4th is like the form of the son of the power, meaning the angel of the Lord came down and delivered Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. Read on.
Then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace.
Now Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth. He came near the mouth of the fiery furnace. He can't believe it. He's like, hold up. How is this be? How can that be? Read on.
And spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High power.
Ye servants of the Most High what?
Power.
Ye servants of the Most High power. Read on.
Come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire.
And they came forth of the midst of the fire. You see how Nebuchadnezzar humbled himself? He said, ye servants of the Most High God, Yahweh. Nebuchadnezzar had to learn that our God is one God. Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh, Alahayanawa Yahweh Akkad. Meaning this. Hear, O Israel, the Most High God, Yahweh, is our power. Nebuchadnezzar learned that. It's only one God, and his name is Yahweh. I pray you understand. I pray you understand. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did not crumble. They did not fold. They even said that even if the Lord don't deliver us, we still not bowing down to your golden image. We can't fold here in America. You have no excuse for being a silly Christian and Muslim to this day. Now is the time to come out of that Christian church and to come out of that Muslim mosque, man. It's time. Now, if I could, I'll get another instance. Let's go to Daniel, the 6th chapter. Let's go to Daniel, the 6th chapter. And we just read about Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego and what they went through in the face of adversity, in the face of a fiery furnace that burned up the men that put them in there, but the angel of the Lord came and was with them, and they had no hurt to them. They was walking around chilling in that burning furnace, man. See what happens when the Lord is with you, man? Now, let's go to Daniel 6 and verse 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom in 120 princes.
Now, after Nebuchadnezzar, Darius came. Darius came and conquered Babylon. I believe Darius was the king of the Syrians, Barzo. You think he was the king of the Syrian Empire that came after Babylon? We was under their captivity. Now, Darius is now king after Nebuchadnezzar. And now Daniel is set over a kingdom. Daniel now has high, command in Babylon now, in Syria. So now he has high power. Read on.
And it's like, which should be over the whole kingdom. Verse 2. And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king shall have no damage. This Daniel was preferred among the presidents and princes.
Now, Daniel, they were the Persians. Yeah, the Persians. See, I had to go back. The Persians. Yeah, the Persian Empire came after Nebuchadnezzar. Now, Darius, no, I know the president. I went back and I looked.
Okay.
Yeah, the Persians and the Medes. Salak. I always get them in the Syria mixed up. Salak. But Darius is king of Persia, of the Persians and the Medes. Now, Daniel has been given authority over the presidents and the princes of these other heathens. Daniel, an Israelite, a black man, has been given power over the other heathens, over the presidents and the princes. Because Darius preferred him. Darius liked him, man. Now, let's read.
Because an excellent spirit was in him.
Man, and Darius had to understand that Daniel, the prophet Daniel, Allah in the Hebrew, had an excellent spirit on him. Read on. Knew that the Lord was with him.
And the king thought to set him over the whole realm.
The king set him over the whole realm. He said, man, Daniel, I can leave you in charge. You trustworthy. You good. I'm gonna have you be over the princes and over the realm and of the presidents. Read on.
Then the presidents and the prince sought to find occasion against Daniel.
Now, when it says they sought, the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel, they was hating on Daniel. They tried to catch Daniel slipping. Tried to catch him lacking. Read on.
Concerning the kingdom.
Read on.
But they couldn't find none occasion for fault.
They couldn't catch Daniel slipping. They couldn't. They tried. They damn sure did. And they're going to try even harder. Read on.
For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him.
Daniel was faithful, trustworthy. There was no fault in Daniel. Read on.
Verse 5. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel.
They said, we're not going to catch Daniel slipping in this way, but there is a way we can catch him. There is a way we can get Daniel. I wonder how they're going to try to get him. Read on.
Except we find it against him concerning the law of his power.
Now, they said, against the law of your power, against your God. Now we're going to make Daniel pick between Persia and the Medes, the Persians and the Medes, and this wicked kingdom, or his God and his laws, statutes, and commandments. Let's see what Daniel chose. Read on.
Then the presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever.
Now they sucking up to Darius. Oh, Darius, live forever. My Lord, hear my decree. Read on.
All the presidents of the kingdoms, the governors, and the princes, the counselors, the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal salute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask for petition of any power or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Man,
they went to Darius and said, my Lord, if any man would be caught serving their God or their power in 30 days, have them cast into the lion's den. For 30 days, nobody can serve their God. Why did they do this? Because they knew Daniel was a righteous man. They knew Daniel was not going to stop serving the Most High and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments and not pray to the Lord, man. They knew Daniel wasn't going to compromise. That's why they said, have him be thrown in the lion's den, any man that goes and prays and serves their God. They was slick. They thought they was slick. That was clever of these heathens. And you'll be thinking they your friends, smiling in your face. It's the same way how the oppressors smile in your face at the slavery of these other nations. That's why if they ask you that you an Israelite, if they ask you, are you with them brothers on 15th and JFK and 12th and Market, don't be a punk. Don't compromise. Say, yeah, I am. They asked me, am I slave? It was like, well, Yediah, are you with those brothers on 15th and JFK? Yeah, I am. I'm with them. You're with them crazy niggas? Yes, I'm with them crazy ass niggas that be on 15th and JFK and 12th and Market. That's me. You saw me. That was me, Tim. That was I. And I'm going to be there next Friday, and I'm going to be there next Saturday. Read on.
Oh, God. Now, okay, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed.
Now they said sign this and make sure you can't change it. You see how wicked they are? They like, man, we got this nigga Daniel now. We got him. They think they got that. But little do they know, they have no idea. Because the Lord said in Exodus 23 and 22, that, remember, let's keep this in mind, Exodus 23 and 22, that the Lord will be an enemy unto thy enemies and an adversary unto thy adversaries. Let's read on.
According to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altered not. Verse 9. Therefore, King Darius signed the writing in a decree.
He signed it. Read on.
Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed,
and it ain't like Daniel didn't know. He knew it was signed. He peeped game and was like, all right, y'all slick. I ain't scared. Read on.
He went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed. And gave thanks before his power.
And Daniel still, he saw them do this. Daniel was like, look at these niggas right here, trying to catch me slipping, thinking I'm not gonna pray and serve my God. You crazy. I'm disregarding that. I'm not compromising against my God. Daniel understood that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Now let's read on.
God. Before his power, as he did aforetime. Verse 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power.
Now they found Daniel. They said, we got this nigga now. We got him. We got him. We knew he wasn't going to compromise. We knew it. Now we get to throw him in the lion's den. Read it.
God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree?
Look at them snitching. Well, Lord King, have you not signed a decree? Didn't you say no man can serve their God? Read on.
That every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, saying, O thee, O king, shall be cast into the lion of dens, den of lions. And the king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah.
Who is Daniel, who is a Jew of the captivity of Judah. Read on.
Regardeth not thee.
Regardeth not thee. He ain't give a damn. Read on.
O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his own petition 3 times a day. That's like it. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself.
He was sore and displeased. He said, damn, they got me, because this heathen king loved Daniel. He liked Daniel, man. He was sore and displeased. He got coerced into doing that, man. Let's read on.
And set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him.
He tried to deliver Daniel. He tried to fight for Daniel. But, read on.
Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, now, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king establishes may be changed.
They said, well, you did say no decree made by you could be changed. Could be changed. He got to go on the lions. Then they hated Daniel, man, because Daniel served the Most High. Daniel was a powerful brother, man, who did not compromise, man, his integrity. And that just goes to show you why Nick Cannon, you know what I mean, is not qualified to be our leader. Why Jay-Z, why none of these different celebrities, why none of these different singers and entertainers and athletes are qualified, because they all fail and falter. You got to be like Daniel. You got to be like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And guess what? They are right here in the Isupk, because we not going to falter. We not going to waver. We not going to compromise this truth. And we not putting this sword down. Read on.
Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions.
Now, they put Daniel in the lion's den. Good night. And you know, they starved these lions for days, too. They didn't feed these lions because they knew they were trying to set Daniel up from the beginning. But let's read on.
Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy power, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel.
Now drop down to verse 19.
Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions.
Now he went haste into the den of lions. Read on. He ran. Read on.
And when he came into the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel.
He cried, and he was like, damn, man, Daniel. He thought Daniel was out of here. He thought them lions made a mastery of Daniel. Yeah, they thought that he thought that Daniel was out of here, man. Yeah, they thought Daniel was out of here, man. And what we have to understand, and which is so important, man, to learn from Daniel. Daniel did not punk up. He ain't cry. He ain't complain. He still served his God. He still served the Most High power, man. Read on.
And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy power, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever.
Daniel was like, man, king, live forever. I'm good. I'm too wild. Read on.
My God has sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouths.
Man, the Lord sent an angel which shut the lions' mouths. Them lions was hungry. Them lions were starved. You know what I mean? They did not touch Daniel because the Lord sent his angel down there and shut the mouths of the lions' den. And then Daniel was just in there chilling. As a matter of fact, Barzal, can we go to Bel and the Dragon and the Apocrypha real quick, Bubba Show? Can we go to Bel and the Dragon and the Apocrypha and get me start at 33? You know what? Start at verse 30. Start at verse 30 for me, Bubba Show.
This is the book of the Bel and the Dragon, in verse 30. Now, when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into lions' den.
Now, they cast Daniel into the lions' den, man. Like we read in Daniel, the 6th chapter, the King Darius was pressed. And he finally gave in and gave Daniel to them, and they threw him in the lions' den. Read on, we read that.
Where he was 6 days. And in the den, there were 7 lions.
There was 7 lions in this den. Daniel was cast in the lions' den with 7 hungry lions. Read on.
And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep.
Man, they used to give them lions 2 carcasses and 2 sheep. Imagine 7 lions can devour 2 big cattle carcasses and 2 sheep. They could eat that up each. They could eat that by the hour, Barzal? By the hour, every couple hours. But listen what these heathen did, man, hoping that it was gonna get Daniel. Read on.
Which then were not given to them to the intent they might devour Daniel.
They starved these lions. They starved these lions in the intent that they may devour Daniel. They wouldn't feed them because they knew Daniel was going into the lions' den. They was hoping they was going to devour him, man. Read on.
Now there was a jury, a prophet.
Now, there was a prophet in Judea. Read on.
Called Habakkuk.
Now, you know the prophet Habakkuk. That's another thing too, man. When they say, you know what I mean, when with fake Israelites, when the Apocrypha is not canon, yes it is, you dummy. Yes it is. Baruch is spoken about, you know what I mean, in Jeremiah. Habakkuk, you know what I mean, has his own book. And Baruch has his own book in the Apocrypha. Habakkuk, you know what I mean, the prophet Habakkuk, read on.
Come on.
Who made pottage?
Who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field to bring it to the reaper.
Man, Habakkuk was getting ready to go feed the men under him. He made pottage, you know what I mean? Made that stew, was getting ready to feed the men under him. Read on.
But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk,
the angel of the Lord came to Habakkuk and said this. Read on.
Go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel.
The Lord said, man, go to Babylon unto Daniel in the lion's den and feed him. Read on.
Who is in the lion's den?
Who is in the lion's den? Read on.
Come. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon.
Habakkuk like, damn, Lord, I ain't never seen Babylon. I ain't never been there. I don't even know where to look. Read on.
Neither do I know where the den is.
He said, I don't even know where the den is, Lord. Read on.
Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head through the vacancy of his spirit, set him in Babylon over the den.
Man, the angel of the Lord picked Habakkuk up, was like, nigga, come here. I'm about to take you to Babylon, my goddamn self. Like how the Lord, out of spirit, the angel of the Lord took Ezekiel and brought him over Jerusalem to see the abomination that Israel was doing. The angel of the Lord picked up Habakkuk and said, all right, nigga, come on. I'll take you. Don't give me that sass next time. I'm going to take you since you want to be a smart ass. I'm going to take you there myself. Let's go. Read on.
Come. And Habakkuk cried, saying, oh, Daniel.
Now, Habakkuk cried and said, Daniel. Read.
Come. Take the dinner which God hath sent thee.
Now, mind you this, man. Them lions did not eat for 6 days. 6 days. They starved them, and the angel of the Lord came and shut their mouths. But the angel of the Lord came by the Most High Yahweh and brought Habakkuk and had Habakkuk bring some food to Daniel while he was in that lion's den. Daniel ate while he was in that lion's den, while the Lord shut the mouths of the lions so they wouldn't devour him. That's the God we serve. The Lord ain't forget about Daniel. Read on.
Oh God. Take the dinner which the Most High hath sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O power.
And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O power. Daniel was like, oh man, Lord, you remembered me. Read on.
Oh God. Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee.
And the Lord did not forsake them that seek thee and love thee. Daniel loved the Most High with all thy mind, all thy strength, and all thy soul. Read on.
So Daniel arose and did eat. And the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately.
Now the Lord, after Daniel got fed, he sent Habakkuk, brought Habakkuk back to where he was, and Daniel ate while he was in that lion's den. Goes to show you, man, the Most High power is the one to be feared. The Most High God is for us, man, that we do what the Lord said to do. Let's go back to Daniel, the 6th chapter, and start at verse 23.
This is the book of Daniel.
So verse 22.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 22. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him and commanded that they should take Daniel up and out of the den.
He said, man, get Daniel out this den. Read on.
So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him.
No manner of hurt was found upon Daniel, man, because the Lord protected Daniel. Read on.
Because he believed in his power.
Because he what?
Believed in his power.
Because he believed in his power. Read on.
And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel.
Now the king said, bring me those men that accused Daniel. Bring me them that accused this man of God. Read on. And
they cast them unto the den of lions.
He cast them into the den of lions. And not just them wicked bastards. The Lord, the king also did this. Read on.
Them their children and their wives.
He said their wives and their children, all of them wicked men and women and children, he cast them into the lion's den. And what you think happened?
Come. And the lions had the mastery of them.
Ooh, read that again.
And the lions had the mastery of them.
The lions had the mastery of them. Meaning the lions was like, for water. For water. Read on.
Come. And break all their bones in pieces or ever they came at the bottom of the den.
Now, broke their bones into pieces because them wicked bastards accused Daniel, man, a servant of the Most High. Let me get Romans chapter 8 and verse 31. Romans 8 and verse 31. Baba Shaw. In 2 Chronicles 7 and 14, but give me Romans 8 to 31 first.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse 31. What shall we say? What shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can come against us?
Man.
It's like,
read again. It's like,
come. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 31. When shall we then say to these things, if the Most High be for us, who can be against us?
If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? If the Lord is for us, who can be against us? Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Who can stand up against us if God be for us, man? And God is for us, man. We got to do what the Lord said to do. This is why it's important for us to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, man. To do what the Lord said to do. The Lord was with Daniel. The Lord was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The Lord will be with us if we do what he tells us to do. Because who could be against us? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, America? They will fall. Because the Lord said they would. In Revelation 13 and verse 9. The Lord said, he that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. But we have to do this, black man, Hispanic man, and woman. Let me get 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. I'm going to end the class.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 14.
7 and verse 14. It's a lot.
Chapter 7 and verse 14. For if I have boasted anything to him of you, I am not ashamed.
So you got 2 Chronicles 7 and 14?
Oh, shit.
12? Yeah, take time. 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. End the class with that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 Chronicles. This is a book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm. This is what we must do as the Lord's chosen people, man. As every Black, Hispanic, and First Nation man and woman.
If my people, which are called by my name.
If my people, because we are the Lord's chosen people, called by the Most High's name, man. Read on.
Shall humble themselves
and
pray and seek my face.
Shall pray and seek my face, man. Read on.
And turn from their wicked ways.
And turn from their wicked ways, meaning turn from the wicked ways of the heathen, of America, man. Read on.
Then will I hear from heaven.
Then will I hear from heaven. Then will the Lord hear us from heaven, man, from the fourth dimension. Read on.
And will forgive their sin.
And for forgive their sins, meaning the Lord will forgive us, man. We have to turn from our wicked ways, man. Read on.
Come on. And will heal their land.
And will heal our land, will heal Zion, will heal the mountain Jerusalem, man, if we humble ourselves and turn from our wicked ways. That's what we have to do, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. I pray you understand. To paraphrase one final scripture for you is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. We have to gather, the scripture says Zephaniah 2 and verse 1. To gather yourselves together, yea, gather you together, O nation not desired. As blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, we are not desired. But you know who does desire us? The Most High Yahweh, our King Yahweh Shamashiach, and the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Command of General Yohanan. And with that being said, this is the Thursday night history class. I'm preaching officer of 1000 Yediah, and I'm going to pass the class off to preaching officer of 1000 Bars Oracle.
Get Officer Yediah one more hand. It's the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start out at 1 West, 125th Street, all in New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission to marry. It's like we'll get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can read about this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21. Also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. My Isupk means 10 for Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever so amount you like to give, up and coming holy convocation. We are in the feast of unleavened bread. You understand? This will last until sundown. Sunday, sundown. You understand? Where we at? Salakia. Yeah, basically this Sunday, you understand, we will close on the feast of unleavened bread. We just did the Passover, Most High in Christ. Shout out to Isupk. Shout out to all the Akim and Aquavium. Right. Shout out to all the generals, you understand, captains and officers, man. And the water again for everybody's participation. And we want to just end the class off with, so just with my argument, Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, Imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give our brothers a courteous salute. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak the Thumb, Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.